Hello, beautiful travelers. Welcome back to the Space Age. If you were drawn to this video, then this is your message. This is not a pick a card reading. This is just a tarot video meant to find the person that needs it. So I have been thinking of calling this series the Midnight Readings because I've been doing this a bit lately. And I was actually inspired to do this reading exactly at midnight. So it was 0000 on my phone, and I have military time, so that's how it reads. And that's such a powerful number sequence. So very, very cool. I feel like that's great confirmation that I should call these the Midnight Readings. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So we're gonna get into your reading. I pulled the first 3 cards for you guys, and this message is going to help support you at this time. So we had release come out first. I'm gonna start with how it came out. This came out somewhat in reverse, and I feel like this came out to say that you guys might already be aware that you have to let something go, you have to release something, but you're very hesitant to. Or it's just that you've never felt like you had the capacity or the ability to let something go. Like maybe when you were growing up, or just in recent times, you feel like you've started to condition or have been conditioned to hold on to things because of circumstances. Like you feel like if you grip your hardest, that's how things work out, but you kind of are already aware that that's not how it works out for you. You know it shouldn't be this hard, because you see this woman, she looks kind of like the Empress sitting here. She's the queen of her kingdom. There are these peacock feathers behind her, and she's aware that she can just lounge around all day and be surrounded by luxury. And it's not that she's not doing anything. It's not that, she was already given these things. This is just who she is. And this is just who you are. So you guys are already kind of aware that you guys are supposed to be releasing, letting things go. But at this time, you might be feeling like you're not ready. You might be feeling as though things are a lot harder to let go of right now because of some situation in your life. Because you might be in a tense grip with something, right? So you kind of already know. And then we had the moon come out in reverse. And so the message on the card says, powerful intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understanding the truth of the situation. And this was in reverse. So I feel like, again, it's like you understand, you're already in understanding that you know what you need to do. You need to surrender to, it's not that you need to surrender what is that you kind of need to surrender, but something is coming, the message is coming in a different way. It's like, at this time, I'm sensing that you're already aware that it's difficult. It's more difficult to move against the current than to go with it. And at the same time, you might not know how to let go or release the reins, because you might not have ever done it before. And sometimes, especially if you're going through a hard time, in order to let go of the reins, something really like a tower moment sometimes can need to occur. Not for everyone. I'm not saying that's what's, by the way, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm saying like, you guys might feel like the only way you can let go is if something like maybe crashes and burns, but it's about the practice. So you don't have to wait for something to crash and burn, right? In order for you to feel like you need to just let something go. Not really. Nothing has to be like that impactful, but it's about waking up in the morning and trying to practice this in any way that you can, because the more you do it, the better and the more acclimated you will be to doing this process. And trust me, it takes a while. It can take like, years, but the thing is, it's not like it's like a journey that's so beautiful, because when you start to come into alignment and start to listen to your cues, things just work out so much better, and you start to recognize when you're not doing that. So it's about trying to practice as much as possible and understanding what you really truly want, okay? So we have renewal. So it says on this card, review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future. Understand your life purpose, releasing judgment of yourself and others. This guy looks exactly like Gandalf. I wonder if is this like a painting, or was this like a copy and paste, because I swear this is Gandalf. But anyway, yeah, there's something about a reset here. All of these cards are so connected. It's all about letting go and allowing yourself to be at peace. I was sent a video today from Sadhguru, and he was talking, I should probably link that video like in my description so you guys can watch it. But it's like 3 minutes. Remind me if I forget. But Sadhguru was saying that people think they need to work hard to achieve something, and working hard only just brings you further away. You should not be working hard. You should be everything. It's like we're just taught to like work hard, and I feel like for you guys, it's like you guys need to reset, because I'm sensing maybe a bit of burnout because we have this renewal card. This is all about like setting yourself up for future success, because I feel like for this release thing, it's like you need the support somehow. There's something about providing structure into your life here. More masculine energy, right? Creating that like structure so that you can do something, so that you can have like the controlled chaos in a sense. So this could be eating better, sleeping better, because here's the thing about letting go. At first, if you're having trouble with it, you just do whatever you need to do at the time, whatever feels good at the moment, doing something that just makes you feel really relaxed, no matter what that is. And as you do that, that will open up the gates for you to see what things can provide that masculine energy. So you might decide like, okay, I'm going to let myself do anything that I want, but I'm going to pay attention to how I'm eating and making sure that I'm eating things that are good for me, right? That's just an example. Or making sure that I'm getting as much sleep as I can get. Adding something in your, maybe not sleeping at the same exact time every day, because I think routines can be helpful for some people, but I feel like a routine is essentially acknowledging the false concept of time, because now you're not living according to your natural cycles. Now you're living according to a clock, but at the same time within reason, because again, we have a society, we have like our world, we're of the world as well, and then also we do see the sunrise and the sunset. So again, that's playing with the balance, because you don't want to end up living too far in one extreme, and then you end up unbalanced again, right? Because if you're doing like the whole like rigid morning, and that works out too, because here's the thing, let's say you do wake up at like 4 a.m. every day, if that provides you the structure to support the feminine energy, which is like, okay, you wake up every day to create something. Oh yeah, we have wisdom. So we have the master number 22. Yes, you guys are supposed to be mastering something right now. This is, yeah, you guys need to like study something. This is really important. There's something that you need to uncover very shortly. I'm sensing that a lot of you guys are, it's like always happening, but there's like always like an awakening going on. I don't even like the word awakening, because I mean, most of us have already awakened, so it's kind of weird to call it an awakening, because after you wake up in the morning, you just continue on awake until you fall asleep again. So what is the name for the thing that comes after you've awakened? But I'm sensing some deeper knowledge coming to you guys. Some deeper knowledge, some deeper wisdom. I think that's what this is. I think you're actually going to experience very shortly. Oh, I just saw 1111. That's the gateway. Yep. This card is really signifying right now that this letting go thing is, you're going to be learning this process, because the 22 has to do with learning something, achieving some level of mastery. So I'm actually seeing that the next step for you guys is actually learning what alignment feels like. You guys might be starting to feel this, but this is actually one of the most important things to achieve. And I think people are often expecting to hear, or hoping to, maybe not you guys, but you know, some people, they're looking forward to hearing about like some material thing, like, oh, like you're going to have like success in like 3 months. The most successful thing that you can ever be or have is presence and being in tune with yourself, gaining inner wisdom, gaining inner knowledge. This is you accessing the Akashic records, right? Being able to access your inner wisdom and your inner knowledge. There are things you know that you don't realize that you know. Such powerful, deep wisdom. I'm sensing that a lot of you guys are going to just be finding yourselves in such alignment that things just naturally come to you. And it's not about the material things, it's about the wisdom, because the wisdom is the true riches. It's the true riches of the world. That's the true riches of the world. The masculine. Yep. I was just saying that you guys need to bring in the masculine energy to foster the growth of the feminine energy, to create a space for it. And that looks like, you know, just adding like one thing or two things, right? I can give an example of what I was talking about. It's like, I'm not trying to set an alarm in the morning, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting, you know, like 8 hours of sleep, for example, right? Because I know that I need to have like a long period of sleep, and I don't, you know, I'll wake up whenever, as long as I'm getting the amount of sleep that I need, and then I'm eating the right way. Like I have a list of foods, you know, it's a pretty good list of foods that specifically I have to eat because, you know, for my specific body. And I'm like, you know what? I feel better and I have more energy when I stay within that realm. So the thing is, it's like I'm implementing structure, for example, for sleep, and I'm sleeping really, really, you know, good hours, but it's not about what time. I mean, loosely it is about what time, you know, you want to wake up at a good time for you, but it's about understanding how adding something in that brings you better health, for example, will allow you to have more creative inspirations during the day, for example, right? So if you're eating something that makes you feel sluggish, I'm just using the same example, but if you eat something that makes you feel heavy or sluggish during the day, you might find that you're not able to create as much. You're not thinking, you're not having as much inspiration because you're having trouble grasping that inspiration, because your body's trying to recover or something, you know? So this could also be about releasing any stories you might have about yourself. It's really about stories. I wouldn't say it's about releasing any habits, because you know what? Your habits are simply stories, right? Some people wake up, it's like what Abraham Hicks says, where it's like you wake up in the morning and you're basically reset every day. Or that's the idea that Abraham preaches, which is like, you're basically reset every single morning, but then you're like, oh, I remember, I'm depressed because I was depressed yesterday. It's the same thing. It's like you get to really hard reset. We had extremes coming out, and it was in reverse, but I don't really read these cards in reverse, but we can take some meaning into that. Again, we have this masculine here, waking up. It's funny, we're talking about sleeping, and this person might be having feverish nights. I feel like, this is really a call for some of you to work on your sleeping habits. Maybe not trying to get to bed at a certain time. I've heard someone say that it's like the more you try to go to bed, and I agree with this, the more you try to go to bed early maybe, or wake up early, sometimes it's harder, but maybe setting the intention that, I want to go to bed early, and then just listening to what your body does and not fighting it, and then eventually you'll find yourself going to bed at the time that you want to go to bed. It's about not fighting anymore. Something that you can practice is don't worry about affirming things over and over again. Just trust that it'll happen. You can state it one time. Just be like, okay, I want to go to bed at 9, and then you might end up going to bed at midnight, or at 2 a.m. if you go to bed at 2 a.m. And then over time, you'll just naturally, something will just shift in your schedule and make everything work out, right? And you can just ask your higher self, your guardian angel, ask them to just be like, hey, I want this to happen. And the universe always knows the better path for you. It's honestly crazy that we are constantly, and then we have focus. Yeah, so I feel like there's a heavy message here, which is lean into the masculine. I want to put the masculine up here. Lean into the masculine so that you can create space for the feminine right now. And like I said, even when you're in your masculine energy, it doesn't need to be this hardcore rigid thing. It's about the consistency of it. You can still have, going back to the diet example, right? You can still eat some, things that are things you love, but it's what are you doing most often, right? Are you eating out too often? Are you doing, do you know what I mean? That's just an example. Everyone is different. So it's think about what works for you. And remember, this is about you. So if you find yourself influenced by others, it's really important to remember that you have the inner wisdom for yourself. Okay. I know someone who at one point in their healing journey needed to eat Pop-Tarts, and these Pop-Tarts gave them life. I'm not even kidding. I'm really not even kidding. And to this day, they still eat Pop-Tarts when they need that energy. You literally don't, that's why I'm saying it's very specific to you. Okay. So let's get some more insight into this situation. All righty. What did I just say? I keep my own counsel. And then we have that I there, your inner wisdom, listening to that inner wisdom. I keep my own counsel. Like I said, do not look outside of yourself. You might see people, I see all day, people just talking about do this, become this, eat this way, be this way, sleep at this time. you know, it's like every single person is so different, and it's like, and you might find yourself, you know, in the midst of this, in the sea of consciousness, you know, day in, day out, and it's like you find yourself leaning towards one thing or another, or hearing one thing more often, and people get really carried away. They're like, oh my God, like, this is what you need to do. But it's like, I feel like people are so intent on telling people what they need to do. At the end of the day, I think the best advice we can give anyone is just to tell them to lean into understanding who they are, right? It's so important to remember that you are you, and you know yourself better than anyone else. These messages here are just to confirm what you already know. Right? This is just you might already be in this place where you are implementing certain habits, right? I gave you an example of how, just to give you an idea of how it is in practice, but my practice might not look anything like your practice, because, for example, like my stomach, someone might need to wake up at like 4 a.m. every single day, and that works, because I know people that are like wildly successful and happy that like wake up at like the exact same time every day. But for me, it's different every day. But the thing is, it's like they have that balance of energy. It's about creating the balance in what ways work for you. And you know, some people are experiencing, you know, burnout, and some people aren't. You know, it depends on where you are. And just like DNA, every single person is so unique in so many different ways. Of course, we have similarities in just the same amount of countless ways as we have our unique signatures, but we have to be mindful of that. I keep the waters pure. So what I'm seeing here with this card is, this has to do with, I feel like, we just saw 2222. So I feel like this has to do with your health, right? Or keeping your mind clear, because the waters has to do with your mind. So this might have to do with your subconscious, might have to do with your health. I'm seeing health and your, like, what you're consuming mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? So meditation is going to help you empty your mind if you feel like you're not empty enough internally in your mind. As far as, like, you know, for some of you guys, it might be like, you know, your health or something. This is the reason why, is because your health is literally your wealth. It really is. That sounds like really like cliche, but it's not. It's just the truth. There's nothing more important than your health, because if you don't have your health day in, day out, if you're not in your optimal health range, I think that's the point of this message today. I'm kind of seeing like a full arc here. If you're not really, like, if your health isn't at its peak, if it's not optimal, then you're not functioning optimally, and you're not going to experience the optimal joy. You're going to experience joy in life, but can you imagine, like, if you're just like in your best, you know, and everyone's starting from a different spot, you know, you might already be doing this, but it's like, it's really important to do the best that you can and achieve the highest level of, you know, health that you can. And it's not about going, like I said, it's not about going into extremes or becoming orthorexic, okay? It's about doing what makes you feel your best, watching the things that make you feel inspired, reading the books that make you feel happy, being around the people that, you know, make you feel comfortable and make you feel safe, putting yourself in the optimal position to receive from your own inner guidance, your own inner wisdom, right? Because when you're feeling really good, that's when all the inspiration hits, all day. So I'm going to pull some last oracle cards just to close out this message and see if there's anything else that would be beneficial for you to hear right now. And I sense that a lot of you guys are already on this journey, and this is just your confirmation that what you're doing is what's best for you. And remember, it's like, this isn't the time, if you feel like you're faltering, this isn't the time to beat yourself up or worry about, oh, everything's working out. Sometimes when you're falling off, like, honestly, sometimes the most beneficial times are when you fall off or fall out of alignment, or you like stray from the path, because that's actually the path. When you think you're straying from the path, it really is the path. Like, oh, we have mirror. Yeah, you really can't make this up when it just keeps flying out of the deck. Mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. Yeah, this is about like doing what makes you feel your optimal self. If your health is optimal, you can take yourself, and you know, like I said, everyone is in a different place. Some of you guys are already like really healthy, you know, and this is just talking about like, you know, clearing up any like mental chatter, because we have like all these music notes. Like maybe there's like a lot of like mental chatter, or maybe you need to use music to help, you know, elevate your mood, you know. This could also be like, you know, when you're cleaning the house, you can listen to music. This is a very high vibrational activity. It completely uplifts your energy and spirit. So this is really important. Treating your body like the palace it is. Absolutely. I feel like the messages are so clear. Listen, some conclusive messages here. Give yourself a little bit of consistency. I'm not going to say structure, because structure sounds, you know, but it's like, you know, giving yourself some consistency. And if you fall off, it's fine. It's not, I'm not even going to say fall off, because like language is so important. If you don't do something a certain day, that doesn't mean, like, for example, like this morning, like I didn't go for a walk, right? And I usually go for a walk, but that's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with anything. It's not a failing. It's the day. It's the energy of the day. Each day is different. You know, some days you're busier. And I feel like, you know, we see people like doing their morning routine every day, and it's like, that's fine, but it's like, and maybe that is you, right? So there might be some consistency, right? Like you have your latte every morning. It's just like those little things that you do that are just consistent. And consistent does not mean, I feel like I have to emphasize this for someone. It's like consistent does not necessarily mean like every single day. Okay. So just maintain that consistency and listening to yourself, keeping your own counsel, doing what you know makes you feel good, okay? Okay, we had stars. You can manifest your every wish, right? I feel like that's an excellent closer, because I feel like this is what it's talking about. It's like to get everything that you want is so much simpler when you feel good and you're feeling your best, when you feel like you've got like this thing that you're doing regularly that allows you to just feel inspired and do the things you want, access that inner wisdom. This is about trusting yourself right now. It's you, right? Trust yourself and where you're at. Trust the inspiration you get, and you'll be inspired. There's nothing that you have to learn from anyone else at this time. We had the master number 22 here. There's nothing that you need to learn from anyone else at this time. Okay? There's no video you need to watch. There's no secret technique for how you can manifest something. No, it's your body is your teacher. My acupuncturist said this, and this is the most true thing. Your body never lies to you. It never does. Okay, if you feel a certain way, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, those are answers. There's no bad emotion, right? There are no bad emotions. Your emotions are telling you what it is that you want, okay? It's telling you if things are going good, if things are going great, things are going not so great. So at this time, the closing message that I feel is coming through as a conclusion is you do not need to listen to anyone but yourself at this time. You have the inner wisdom. You have access to the Akashic records. You know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to implement. There's nothing I can really tell you. There's nothing anyone can really tell you. You know what you need to do. You know if you need more sleep, if you need more outside time in nature. There's something that's already calling you, and you just need to listen to it. The letting go will come naturally as you listen. It's not about thinking about letting go. It's about listening to what you want. Think about more what you want rather than what you need to let go of, because sometimes that can just trip people up. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.